Hi everyone, my name is Theresa and I'm from Sweden. I live and work in Dubai since 9 years. I work as a freelance fashion stylist and I write about my experiences on a website called styledrifter.com. I'll be recording a series of YouTube tutorials where I talk you through a few styling tips, a few makeup tips and some beauty as well. Today I'd like to start off with talking you through my very signature daytime look, which is a messy saltwater inspired curl. What I've done to prep my hair is I've just washed it with a regular shampoo and conditioner. I use the Golden Range from Sunsilk. It's the hair fall solution, which ensures that my tresses remain nice and thick. The harsh water in Dubai and the fact that I do a lot of water sports and wash my hair on a daily basis can quite often be a strain on the scalp and the hair. And there was a time when I was experiencing that my hair was thinning, and I think that's every girl's biggest nightmare. So I make sure that I follow a really strict hair maintenance regime in order to keep my hair nice and nice and thick. Now, there are two ways of achieving the curl I was talking about. If you wash your hair before you go to sleep, I know some girls like to do that. What I do with my hair when it's wet is I divide my hair in two sections, and what I do is I twist it in a very, very tight. The tightness here is crucial because this is what's going to give you the tightness, the volume of the curls. In a very thick twist up until the very end, and with a bobby pin I make sure to fix it on top of my head. When you brush out your hair in the morning, you end up having a very nice and natural curl. And this is also a very good thing you can do in order to make sure that you don't overuse curling tongs and heat styling appliances, because we know long term they can cause a fair amount of damage to your hair. On days like today, when I've washed and dried my hair in the morning, what I do is first I prepare my hair with a bit of saltwater spray. Now, there are plenty of saltwater spray brands out there on the market. This is something I picked up in Sweden. What you actually can do is you can make your own saltwater spray. As simple as it sounds, you take a spray bottle and you mix some water with a couple of tablespoons of sea salt. You dissolve it, make sure that you shake and stir before you use it, and it works just as fine as the expensive ones you buy on the market. So what I do is I divide my hair into sections. I quite like thick and big sections because I like my curls to be rather large. Otherwise you end up having a princess curl, which isn't really the style I'm aiming for. I'm more trying to achieve a surfer chic look. I make sure to prep it with a saltwater spray. Again, this is only because it gives the hair a nice and crispy structure. And with a curling iron, I use one without clips. What I do is I make sure to curl the hair away from the face. So in order to get those Hollywood-esque tresses that who would be my hair inspiration? Somebody like Jennifer Aniston would wear. Up to 5 seconds. We don't want to burn the hair. The curl that comes out is quite tight. I'm just gonna leave them here to dry and brush them out when they've cooled down. And I continue this way with grabbing a thick strand of hair, brushing out any knots if I have any, prepping it with some saltwater spray, and curling it around the tongue, holding on to the end and holding it away from the face again. There we go. Now this doesn't take me more than, I would say, 7 to 10 minutes every morning, so it's not one of those tedious beauty regimes, and I find when my hair is done, if my hair looks good, I can leave the house with barely no makeup on. We are almost at the finish line. The front section is going to be the one where I pay the most attention, because obviously this is the one that frames the face. So we'll look at how I curled that in just a little while. This part, again, in order to be away from the face, you have to kind of work counterclockwise. We've come to the front section where I've got a bit of a longish fringe. What I'm going to do is just curl the very bottom part, because I kind of like the flick happening towards the jawline. I think it kind of balances out my features. I just flick the end as opposed to the whole length of the hair, and I actually curl this one inwards like that. I actually don't like for this to be too curly, just a bit of a nice soft fall. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this rest, and I'm going to apply my makeup once the hair is setting in place and cooling down in this very tight curl that I've got going on. For a daytime makeup, what I try to do is I try to keep it natural. What I've been told is that in order not to get too full of a makeup coverage, supposedly blending your foundation with a bit of serum, protective serum, is a good thing to do. So that's what I do. On the top of my hand, I mix a dollop of foundation and a tiny dollop of a pea-sized dollop of a protective serum. The reason why I blend it on top of my hand is the inner side of your hand is where all the bacteria sits. We don't want that on our faces. Powder is really important, and what I do every morning to set the foundation in place, as opposed to swirling the foundation around, I kind of just pat it onto my skin. For a daytime look, I kind of just like to accentuate my eyes with a nougaty, beigey, taupey kind of an eyeshadow. I kind of accentuate the crease with a very natural grey beige kind of a hue. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks a little something like this. That is my to-go to daytime eyeshadow. I like highlighters. I find that they give a lot of luster and structure and dimension to your face. So I very gently apply on top of my cheekbones. The residual product I've got on the brush, I basically sweep all over the temples and down the bridge of my nose and a little bit on my chin. Very important to look awake for tired people like myself is to accentuate the inner corner of your eyelid. Go for something that looks very naked. This actually is an eyeshadow called Naked Inner Corner, and just lightly sweep it in the inner corners of your eyelids to give your eyes a bit more of an opening. Now by now my hair should be set and in place and it's cooled down, and this is how I would leave the house on a day-to-day basis. When you've done your hair, prepared your hair this way as a base, you can do a lot more updos. You can work with fishtail braids, you can work with side ponytails. It's a very good base structure. With regards to outfit, like this is a very nice, nicely draped, nicely cut, quite flattering cut of a Helmut Lang dress. This is a kind of outfit that would get me through a day of running around and pulling looks for a photo shoot or having client meetings, and it kind of looks very together in whichever situation you end up finding yourself in. Now throughout the day I would wear it with something as simple as a white Converse shoe, simply because of the comfort of how much running around I actually do as a stylist. But because it's quite feminine and nicely cut, it ends up looking very nice with a pair of stilettos. So if I carry a pair of nice heels in my bag, this dress gets me from an 8 a.m. meeting to a 7 p.m. dinner with friends. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you again, and looking forward to hearing your feedback on what you liked and what you would like to see more of from my tutorials.